Are you actually on like TRT though?
What would be the point though?
I mean, because men's hormone levels dip as they get older.
No, they don't.
Not to call you old by any means, because you found the
they
fountain
don't.
of youth.
Coach Greg, and in today's video, Mike O'Hearn continues to go over the top, claiming to be natural. Not only that, he says he suffers from low testosterone levels. I kid you not, it's not clickbait. Gonna show the video showing him saying exactly this.
I talked to you about this a long time ago. You gotta come through and do the Jack in the Box, what's at the bottom of the trick or treat, and see if you can find the trend at the house.
That's what I want to do.
And so really, if Kenny KO comes to his house and he allows him to look through the house and he doesn't find any trend, does that mean he's never taken it?
So is the legend, the Titan, still natty?
Well, no. I've never been natty, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
And so he dodges the question by answering it, but then saying it's a joke. So what he does is he plays things up, says, yeah, I've been on trend since birth. Of course I have, right? We all have doubted his natural status, but he continues to deny it. And does anyone think at this point that he's actually going to come clean?
Since you've been unnatural your whole life,
I came out trend up.
What was your favorite compound? Trend?
Squats.
And so Mike at this point, he's basically done. He's not going to admit to taking anything. And so Kenny has to then change his line of questioning to try to get him to admit something. Give us something, Mike. Give us something we can talk about. And so they joke around that he would make a good Homelander from the series The Boys, one of the best shows out there, and that he would be that main character, that his superpowers, he's been taking trend longer than everyone, of which maybe he actually is.
Real question.
Go.
Are you actually on like TRT though?
What would be the point though?
I mean, because men's hormone levels dip as they get older.
No, they don't.
Not to call you old by any means, because you found the fountain of youth.
I mean, really? Does he really not believe that as you age, that your testosterone levels, they go down? Or is it just wishful thinking? If you believe it doesn't go down, then it will never go down. I'm just going to convince myself that my testosterone levels at 80 are going to be the same as when I'm 18, and it's just going to be that way because I want it to be that way.
No, because you guys say that. And so the idea...
That's medical science.
No, it isn't.
Have you gotten your levels checked?
So what is a low?
What is in fact low? Well, low depends on the person. But for the most part, most people are going to be somewhere between 250 and 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, with the average person probably being somewhere between 500 and 600, give or take.
See, that's the thing. You guys go, hey, you know what? When you're 20, you're like, and then when you're 50, you're like 0.
No one actually said that. We said that your testosterone levels go down. A little bit every year, decade after decade, your testosterone levels go down. We never said they go down to 0. Never said that every single person who's 50 years of age needs to be prescribed HRT. Depends on the person, but Mike, what are your testosterone levels at?
Mona, come here. Come here. Mona, come here. Let me see your abs.
Why?
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Let me see your abs.
They're the flex for the people.
Let me see your abs.
Oh, she got better abs than I do, for sure.
Why? She just had a kid. She's 46 years old. Why does she have better abs than you?
Just because you bring in your wife who clearly has defined six-pack and huge biceps doesn't mean that you don't have low testosterone levels. And how do we know she's natural, Mike? How do we know that your wife is not somebody taking supplements? And so yes, at 46, she has an incredible physique. Look at the abs, she's had kids. This woman looks incredible. Doesn't mean that she's actually natural. And so Mike's starting to try to put down Kenny, saying, you know, my wife who's 46 and just had a kid has better abs than you. Why is that? Well, clearly it's because she diets better. She eats better. She trains harder and smarter, perhaps. But that doesn't mean that Mike is natural because his wife has better abs than Kenny. So what is he talking about?
Now, at your strongest, juiced up and strong, were you ever stronger than me at 14 or 15 years old?
Oh, I don't know.
Why?
And so clearly the answer is because of genetics. Mike, your genetics are redonkulous, coupled with the fact that you're taking PEDs, the genetics, the PEDs, all in unison, the hard work, that is what's resulted in your physique of today. But trying to say to Kenny, well, I was stronger than you when I was 14 and you were in your 20s, how do we know you were natural at 14 or 15? We don't even know that.
But were you natural when you were in your teens?
Well, how could I compete throughout my entire career doing drug tests and TV shows and everything that I was doing, drug tested, and never
Just because you were in a contest that was drug tested doesn't mean you're in fact natural. For example, did they test you? Were you actually one of the people who was selected? You could be in the contest and not be tested.
But you're not even stronger or more muscular than a 40, mid-40, who's older than you, that had a kid.
And so at this point, he's kind of turning the screw on Kenny a little bit. It's being a little bit rude. And how do we know that she's stronger than Kenny? Does she bench press more than Kenny KO? Does she have a bigger deadlift than him? I don't know. I don't know how strong Kenny is. But even if she was, perhaps she deadlifts 580 pounds. I don't know. Maybe Kenny doesn't respond well to the steroids that he's taking. Not all people respond equally to testosterone, tren, D-bol, and so on. Some are hyper responders. Some are hyper responders to natural supplements. And so just because you're on steroids doesn't mean you're going to have the size and strength of Hercules.
How could I be this size as a 15-year-old kid and be this size closing in on 60?
Well, quite possibly, he might have been on PEDs at age 16. Age 15. There's kids who have come out, done videos, they're 14 years of age on steroids. I've done phone consults with parents, their kids have been taking SARMs. They've been encouraged to do so by their parents. And so just because Mike was 15, 16 years of age and had the size and strength of people 10 years older than him, doesn't mean he was natural at that time. Maybe he was taking something then. We don't know. I'm not sure. How would I know? But what I do know is saying that you're massive at 15 or 16 and still massive at 50-something, that doesn't prove that you're natural. It hints that you were probably taking something your entire life. And so what Mike is trying to convey is this message. He wants people to not think that they have limits. He wants people to think, hey, look at me. I'm Mike O'Hearn. I look like a freak. I've looked like a freak my entire life. And it's not because of genetics. It's not because of taking steroids. It's just because of hard work. And if you work hard, you can look like me. After all, I just have average genetics and I'm 100% natural, look better at 54 than many IPV pros to this day. I don't like that. That gives people unrealistic expectations. And so when people do put in the work, they train natural, they train harder than last time for years, and they look in the mirror and they say, I'm not even a quarter the muscle of Mike O'Hearn. What is going on? What's wrong with me? I guess I need to take steroids. It doesn't deter and prevent and stop people from taking steroids. It makes them want to take them even more. They try their best. They think that most people can look amazing natural and that they can't. They must be doing something wrong. And so they then resort to PDs. In comparison, myself, I call out the fake natties and say, look, to get that kind of physique, it's not realistic for 99.9% of people. And so forget about it.
Do steroids make you Mr. Olympia?
No. Hell no.
Steroids don't make you the Mr. Olympia, no. Neither does training. Neither does dieting. Nothing does. It's a combination of everything. So you can't just say, oh, do steroids make you the Mr. Olympia? No. Oh, well, see, proof. It's just the hard work. No, it's not just the hard work. It's a combination of all of them. The hard work, the genetics, the supplements, everything.
But what I was saying about the TRT comment is I didn't know if you did blood work back in the day, like in your 20s, 30s.
I've been low testosterone my entire life.
Recent.
And so let's assume that he's being honest right now. I've had low testosterone my entire life. How do we explain him having all this muscle at 14, 15, 16 years of age? Well, I'll tell you why. Perhaps he was taking other products, D-bol, trenbolone, and that was causing natural suppression of his own body producing testosterone. And so by taking D-bol, anadrol, trenbolone, you name it, various compounds, that would suppress his own body's production of testosterone. And so when he would get blood work done, that would cause his testosterone levels to be low. And so he could have low testosterone levels his entire life by taking other compounds. And so ask other people who take PDs, for example, SARMs, steroids, but not testosterone. Ask them to get their blood work done and see, is their testosterone levels high? And so what oftentimes people think is that if you're on any kind of steroid, that your testosterone levels are going to be high. This is not the case. Testosterone, of course, is going to make your testosterone levels go up. But if you're taking things like Tren or Deca or Anavar, D-bol, T-bol, it's not going to make your testosterone go up. It's going to make it go down because your body is getting these androgenic signals elsewhere, requiring your body to not make the testosterone that it needs. That's why, for the most part, people use testosterone as a base. So, for example, Mike could take 20 milligrams of test a week, coupled with Anavar, Tren, Deca, every other compound, get his blood work done and have low testosterone levels. It would look like he has low test levels. He would be low, but he would be getting the size and strength from the other products that he's taking.
And I'm low testosterone my entire life, which has helped me get healthy joints.
Where does it state, what study shows that having low testosterone levels is good for your joints? It's great. It keeps your longevity going. Where does it say this? So now the new research is out. Low testosterone improves your joints, makes you live a longer, healthier life, builds more muscle. And so is his argument that because I was blessed with these low levels of testosterone, somewhere in the 400s, that's why I have so much muscle, better than everyone else? It doesn't make sense. It in fact seems like the opposite of what most people would think.
And I'm low testosterone my entire life, which has helped me get healthy joints.
Do you know what your level was?
I'm at 400.
400.
Yeah.
You've been there your entire life?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so just based on how he responds to Kenny KO, where he just, yeah, I'm at 400. Yep. It just seems like he's making it up of thin air. He's just giving numbers. He's just saying, he's like, your entire life, really. If you actually got this tested, would you not know? Yeah, the first time I got tested, I was somewhere around 16 years of age. I remember that because the doctor said you have low testosterone levels. And despite the fact that I was a champion powerlifter and bodybuilder, they were shocked to see that. Or maybe his first test was when he was 20s. Would you not remember roughly what happened? Your test is 400. Really? Every single time you've gotten blood work, which has probably been 50 times in your life, I'm assuming he would go get blood work at least once a year, perhaps twice, 3 times. Would he not remember any number? It's always 400. It wasn't even 400s. It was 400. My test levels were 400. Really? That seems like a convenient number. And was it always 400? It didn't fluctuate? What about when you're bulking? When you're eating an abundance of calories, did it go up? Was it lower when you were on a cut? When you're dieting down for competitions, did it not lower itself a little bit? So I do find it very hard to believe. I think he's just throwing out numbers, trying to make things sound good, avoiding the questions for the most part.
I'm not saying you're not strong because you weren't stronger than me.
I'm not.
Nobody was stronger than me at 15.
Oh, hell no.
So Mike, as a natural 15-year-old, was stronger than every human being in the world. Really, I am not aware of Mike having all the world records in powerlifting and strongman at the age of 15. Please, someone send me these records he set at age 15.
It's not genetics. It's the mother that puts in the work every single day.
Well, it sounds good. Problem is, though, it's not true. You can't just outwork your bad genetics. You can't just become the world champion if you don't have the genetics to do so. You can't just be the strongest person at age 15 and maintain that for the rest of your life. Where does he get off on these things?
You can't deny you have top-tier genetics.
I didn't know that until now.
Really, until this very moment during this interview, at age 54, he suddenly realized that he has above-average genetics. He thought all along it was just hard work. Really?
I will never be the guy that says I have genetics.
Because you were 16 more jacked than dudes.
No, but I started at 9.
Huh?
I started at 9.
Exactly.
It's not how early you start. Whether or not you have great genetics or not is not affected by what age you start training. The genetics are predetermined. It's what you're born with. Your genetics in your genes, the DNA. And so what Mike did, at least what I believe, he had those amazing genetics, worked his ass off, coupled with smart, hard training, and of course the supplements, and that's why he was able to look so good at a young age and continues to look like that to this day.
You want to see a genetic freak? Look at my son.
Oh yeah, he'll be a genetic freak.
He's already 4 feet tall at 56 pounds and he's 3 years old.
Really? He's 4 feet tall. And so does Mike actually know how to measure human height? Is this kid really 4 feet tall? I'm not making this shit up. It's in the video. He says 4 feet tall. You want to hear it again? And so what is he going on about? And so finally, Mike is making some sense. He's saying at the age of 20, you have higher testosterone levels. At 50, it doesn't go down to nothing. If you eat right, train right, and do all the proper things, your testosterone levels are not going to decline to nothing. But he is wrong in that they do in fact go down. Slowly, but surely they are going to drop. And if you do need to get on TRT, HRT, go see your doctor. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Don't pretend that it can't help certain people. If you have low testosterone levels and your doctor thinks that you need it, the doctor will prescribe it. And so go check it out with your doctor. But for Mike to say, I can't spell that, so therefore I don't take it, or why would I ever take it, or I've never thought about it, my low testosterone levels my entire life, it's not that, I don't have good genetics, it's just hard work since the age of 9, that's why I look like I do. That's a bit too much. That's a tough pill to swallow. And so hope you liked the video. ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IP Pro. Please check out the Boops Harder Than Last Time supplements. You can get those. Click the link in the description. Also the cookbooks, training books. We have the hard copy versions today. Also subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Don't forget I do coaching consults. Also coaching plans by me and my team. And until next time, I'm out.